Hello everybody, today back in another video. Oh boy, my tennis friends all around the world. We had 128 players in the draw when this Wimbledon started 2 weeks ago, 2025. Now we have only 2 left men standing. And who are those 2 left men standing, baby? It is Carlos Alcaraz, the 2-time defending Wimbledon champion, versus the world number 1, Jannik Sinner, who is playing his 4th consecutive Grand Slam final. He played the Grand Slam final at US Open last year, a Grand Slam final that he won against Taylor Fritz. He played the Grand Slam final at the Open earlier this year, a Grand Slam final that he won against Alexander Zverev. He played the Grand Slam final 5 weeks ago at French Open, one of the greatest tennis matches that we have ever seen, against Carlos Alcaraz, a match that he lost after 4 hours after 5 hours and 29 minutes. And now he's playing his 4th consecutive Grand Slam final. Jannik Sinner. This is the biggest matchup we have in tennis. This is the biggest tennis stars we have in tennis right now. I will be honest with you, my tennis fans all around the world. When the big 3 was close to retirement, 2 of them has already retired. The other one is semi-retired, Novak Djokovic. I thought to myself, and I've done video about that. I said that tennis will be dead after the big 3 have retired. Tennis will be in bad hands. Talk about being wrong. Talk about being completely wrong. I never, in my wildest fantasy, believed that we will have 2 superstars immediately after the big 3 have retired. I never thought about this. I never believed this, because one of them, Djokovic, he's still around, so he is not retired, even though he's semi-retired, and they have already taken over. So we never needed to wait 3-5 years or something like that. They have immediately taken over the big tennis scene and are doing big damage in the Grand Slams. And they have won the last 6 Grand Slam titles together, and they will win the 7th Grand Slam title on Sunday, one of them. They are completely dominating tennis. It is like everybody are predicting these 2 to make it to the final. I remember when the French Open was around 5 weeks ago, everybody was predicting Carlos and Sinner to face each other in the final. Everybody. I don't remember. I can't recall someone saying, "No, Carlos and Djokovic will face each other in the final," or Djokovic and some other dude will face in the final. No, everybody was saying Sinner and Alcaraz will face in the final. The same thing here at Wimbledon. The same melody has been here as well. Before this event started, everybody was saying that Sinner and Alcaraz will face each other in the final, because these 2 are the best tennis players in the world. These 2 are the most dominant tennis players in the world. These 2 are dominating tennis. And I'm frankly extremely happy because these 2 are making tennis fun. If we didn't have these 2, if we had only the 19th generation of players, the biggest lost generation of tennis players that we have ever seen, according to me, the 19-born tennis players. I will not be too harsh on them, because they have had a tough time competing against the big 3. Let's be honest here. It is not easy taking down the big 3. So they tried, they fought, they never give up. They did the best, but the big 3, Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer, especially Djokovic and Nadal, Federer didn't stop them in Grand Slam finals so much. If he did it at all, I don't know. I can't remember. Have Federer ever won a Grand Slam title against in a final? I mean, against players that are born in the 90s. Cilic was born in the 80s. No. Federer has never faced a player who is born in the 90s in a Grand Slam final. No, but Djokovic and Nadal has definitely done that. Djokovic has stopped 6 players in Grand Slam finals that are born in the 90s. Medvedev, Tsitsipas, Ruud, Berrettini, Kyrgios, Dominic Thiem. Yeah. It is these 6 players that Djokovic has stopped in Grand Slam finals that are born in the 90s. And Nadal has also stopped players that are born in the 90s in Grand Slam finals. And those players are only 2. Medvedev two times in both of those two occasions once in the US Open final and once in Australian Open final, and also Nadal has stopped once a player that was born in the 90s in a Grand Slam final, Casper Ruud. So Djokovic and Nadal has done the biggest damage to stop these players that were born in the 90s in the Grand Slam finals. So I cannot blame them too much. It is not easy defeating these 2 icons, Nadal and Djokovic, in Grand Slam finals. Let's be honest here. And now, if this was not enough, immediately they will force to compete with beasts like Sinner and Alcaraz, who are generational talents. All right. Anyway, so these are the players that we have in the final. Very, very expecting. Let's talk a little fast about their semifinal matches. Could expect the results. Fritz did a great run, great match against Carlos. He did what he could. He almost took that match to a 5th set where he had 2 set points in that 4th set tiebreak where he was in the lead 6-4. But Carlos, the clutch monster, the clutch beast, the clutch machine that he is, he won 4 straight points and won that 4th set tiebreak 8-6. Am I surprised? Absolutely not. Carlos Alcaraz is the clutchest 22 years old player I have ever seen in my life. But all credit to Fritz. He did a good match. It was not he defeated himself. Carlos defeated him. Fritz, who did 19 aces, 6 double faults, land 62% first serve sin, won. Did 24 unforced errors and 44 winners. So he does 20 more wins than unforced errors. He did a really clean match, Taylor Fritz, to be quite honest. But what can he do against Carlos? Carlos, who did 13 aces, 3 double faults, lands 65% first serve sin, won 88% when his first serve. 88%. That is huge. Compared with Fritz, who won 80%. 80 is not bad. But Carlos, 88. He did even better. And and when it comes to winning points behind second serve, they won both the same amount of numbers. Fritz won 57% behind his second serve. Carlos won 57% behind his second serve as well. But the biggest damage Carlos was doing in winning points behind his first serve, where Carlos won 88% behind his first serve, and Fritz won 80% behind his first serve. And Carlos did 25 unforced errors and 38 winners. So Carlos does 13 more winners than unforced errors. And Carlos broke Fritz's serve, if I'm not mistaken, 3 times. And Fritz broke Carlos' serve only once. So there you have it. So Carlos Alcaraz won in 4 sets, very, very deservingly so, and is going to his 3rd consecutive Wimbledon final. And will try to win his 3rd Wimbledon consecutive title. He's a 2-time defending champion at Wimbledon. We all know that. Last time he lost at Wimbledon was actually 2022, 4th round against the player he will face in the final, which is Jannik Sinner. And Jannik Sinner, he won his semifinal match against Novak Djokovic in straight sets. Am I surprised? No. I thought he will win in 4. But after seeing 1.5 set, I did a 5-minute video. You guys who have seen that video know it. I said that no way in hell that Novak wins even 1 set, and I was right about that. Jannik was completely killing Novak from the baseline. Completely. Yeah, Novak was not 100% healthy, especially not in the third set, maybe even the second set. But in the first set, I didn't see any big signs that Novak didn't move 100% right. But in the second, especially the third, Novak for sure was hampered there. He was for sure hampered. I could see that. But even if Novak would have been 100%, he would have never defeated Sinner. Sinner is Novak Djokovic kryptonite, let's face it. Sinner did a fabulous match, did 12 aces, 2 double faults, 74% first serve he was landing. I've never seen Jannik Sinner land that high of a percentage of first serve. Never, ever have seen. He usually averages between 60 to 64% landing first serves. Maximum to 65, 60 to 65. He averages in that number, and sometimes he's even lower than that. In this match, he landed 74% first serve in. That I've never seen him land higher than that. Won 81% behind his first serve, which is really, really good. 81%. Won 63% behind his second serve, which is unbelievable to win that much point behind your second serve against a great returner like Novak Djokovic. And broke Novak's serve 4 times in the entire match, and did all in all 36 winners and only 17 unforced errors. He barely did any unforced errors. So all in all, Sinner did 19 more winners than unforced errors. How was Novak's numbers? He did 12 aces, as many as Sinner, and 0 double faults. Landed 67% first serve in, which is not bad. Won 77% in his first serve, which is not bad either, especially winning that many points behind your first serve against a quality player like Sinner. But here comes the big difference. Are you ready? Novak wins only 17% behind his second serve. Only 17%. I believe Novak used his second serve 50 times, and he won only 5 of those points. Only 5. That makes it to 7. That makes it to 17%. I have never in my entire life seen Novak Djokovic win that little of points behind his second serve. Never. Why is that? He was completely crushed from the baseline. Like I said in my 5-minute video, every single rally that was over 5 shots, Sinner was winning 8, maybe even 9 of 10 points. He was winning 90% of those rallies that was over 5 shots. Djokovic had no answers whatsoever. Djokovic was completely overpowered from the baseline. But of course, Djokovic couldn't move that great in the third set, so that was helping Sinner. But nevertheless, even if Djokovic was 100% healthy, he would have never defeated Sinner. Never. He just doesn't have the firepower, doesn't have the strength, doesn't have the youth, doesn't have the serve plus game, doesn't have Novak's serve plus game does not even close as good as Sinner's serve plus game. So that Sinner does a lot of damage in his serve plus game, much more damage than what Djokovic does. And Djokovic did 28 unforced errors and 27 winners. So Djokovic does 1 more unforced error than winner, and Djokovic broke Sinner's serve only once in the entire match. So there you have it, the semifinal matches. Now we go to the final prediction between Carlos Alcaraz versus Jannik Sinner. The biggest matchup we have in tennis. The most excitement matchup we have in tennis. We had the pleasure to see them 5 weeks ago, not that very long time ago, in an epic French Open final that took 5 hours and 29 minutes to finish, a match that Carlos Alcaraz in the end won after being 2-0 down and after saving 3 consecutive match points in his own serve. Now they're facing each other for the 2nd consecutive Grand Slam final, and they will face each other for the 11th time. The head-to-head is 6-4 in Carlos Alcaraz advantage. Sinner actually was leading this head-to-head a couple of years ago, 4-1. But Carlos Alcaraz has delivered 5 consecutive wins against Sinner and now leads that head-to-head 6-4. They have faced each other at Grand Slams 4 times before. Carlos Alcaraz leads that head-to-head in Grand Slams 3-1. 2 times at French Open, 1 time at US Open, and 1 time at Wimbledon. Actually, the only time that Sinner has defeated Carlos Alcaraz in the majors is in the exact same tournament they will face each other on Sunday, which is Wimbledon, which was 3 years ago when Carlos Alcaraz was only 19 years old. And Carlos Alcaraz was not the player that he is today. He was that time that Sinner defeated Carlos Alcaraz in that Wimbledon 4th round match 2022. Carlos Alcaraz was 0 times Grand Slam champion. Sinner as well was 0 times Grand Slam champion. And we all know that later that year, Carlos won his first ever Grand Slam title in US Open. So, how do I think this match will go? All right. First of all, I think that Carlos is the favorite here. And he should be the favorite. He is the 2 times defending Wimbledon champion. He's going for his 3rd consecutive Wimbledon title. All right. He has a 5 consecutive match winning streak against Jannik Sinner. All right. He leads 3-1 in the Grand Slam head-to-head. He defeated Jannik Sinner 2 times at French Open, 1 time at US Open. The only time Carlos has lost against Jannik Sinner in majors, like I said, was in that Wimbledon 4th round match 3 years ago, 2022. So he should be the favorite, Carlos, and he is the favorite. So we'll talk about Sinner here first, who is the underdog. Not huge underdog. Absolutely not. He cannot be a huge underdog when he's the world number 1. I don't care that Carlos has won 5 consecutive matches against Sinner. And I don't care that last time Sinner defeated Carlos was 2023, I think, in Beijing semifinal. I think so. I believe that is correct. So that was last time Sinner defeated Carlos Alcaraz 2 years ago in Beijing semifinal. I don't care about that, all right? When these two face each other, the matches are very, very close. It is not like one of them is giving the other a beatdown. You can see on their 4 matches that they've played in Grand Slams, 3 of them has gone in 5 sets. 2 times 5 sets at French Open, 1 time 5 sets at US Open. The only match that has gone to 4 sets was that match at Wimbledon 3 years ago, where Sinner won. So, but Sinner is the underdog, but not the huge one. He's the slight underdog here. So what I will say, what Sinner needs to do to win this match. First of all, Sinner needs to serve higher percentage of first serves than he did in that French Open final 5 weeks ago, where he landed 54% first serves in. That will be a key here. He needs to have at least over 65%. At least. And he has been serving pretty good. He has had higher percentage of first serves in this Wimbledon 2025 than he usually is. Because Sinner is not known to have great high percentage of first serves in. Which I feel is very strange, considering how tall the dude is. How tall the dude is, he should really make more first serves in. But for some reason, he doesn't always do that. But in this Wimbledon edition so far, he has done good job in having high percentages of first serves in, especially in his latest match in the semifinal against Djokovic, where he had 74% first serves in. Do I think he will land that high of percentage first serves against Carlos like he had against Djokovic? I don't think so. Sinner doesn't usually land over 70% first serves in. Against Djokovic, 74% was the highest I have ever seen him land first serves in. So I don't think he will repeat that achievement to have 2 great serve to have two great high percentages of first serves in a row. I don't think so. But I think that he will have between 65 to 70% first serve in. I think so. So that will be a huge key for Sinner. Because Alcaraz is not Fritz. Fritz's returns are not even close as good as Alcaraz. Not even close. So Sinner cannot give Alcaraz too much looks of second serves. That is one key. The second key for Sinner is he needs to out-clutch Alcaraz. Because in the beginning of the rivalry, Sinner was out-clutching Alcaraz. And that's why Sinner took a 4-1 lead in the head-to-head. Alcaraz could not break Sinner's serve so much. And Sinner was saving a lot of break points when Alcaraz was having break point opportunities in Sinner's serve. And that's why Sinner was winning the big points, the pressure points. And that has turned around. That has been a change now. Now it is Alcaraz who is winning the pressure points. It is Alcaraz who is winning the bigger points. How in hell did Alcaraz win that French Open final 5 weeks ago, for God's sakes? He won the biggest points of the match, which was those match points that Sinner had. If Sinner would have converted in one of those match points, it would have been Sinner who would have been the French Open champion and not Alcaraz. Tennis is not a soccer game, like we in Europe call it, or football, like you, not soccer, it is you in United States who call it. Soccer, like you in United States call it, and football, like we here in Europe call it. It is not a game where you can play and wait for the clock to finish and just to make a goal and just wait till the match finishes with time. Tennis is not with time. Tennis is, you never win a match in tennis if you don't win the last point. Never. Never. It is impossible. You need to win the last point. The player who wins the last point always wins the matches. And it is not the player who wins more points than the opponent. Sinner won more points than Carlos Alcaraz in that French Open semi-final 2024. Sinner lost the match. Sinner won more points than Carlos Alcaraz in that French Open final 5 weeks ago. Sinner lost the match. Why? He didn't win the bigger points. So that is the second key. Sinner needs to outclutch Carlos in the bigger points, in the pressure points, when the chips are down. Second key. Third key, Sinner needs to give Carlos Alcaraz little different looks on the ball, like Carlos does to him. Sinner needs to kind of give Carlos Alcaraz his own medicine. It is not in Sinner's DNA. Sinner is more predictable. Like Taylor Fritz said in his press conference. He said that when you face Carlos, he has different ways in beating you. He can play at the net. He can play with raw power. He can play with drop shots. He just can beat you in different ways. He's more unpredictable. When you play Sinner, he plays the same way. He does it incredibly well, but he doesn't surprise you. And this Sinner needs to change in the final. He needs to make Carlos Alcaraz think. He needs to make Carlos Alcaraz confused. Drop shot him sometimes, not often, sometimes, to make Carlos confused. Go to the net sometimes. And speaking about the net, I'm going to talk about a little later about the net. Going to the net sometimes. And of course, so he needs to have little variation in his game, Sinner. That is the third key. The fourth key, like always in tennis, like always, Sinner needs to challenge Carlos Alcaraz in the serve plus game. Sinner's serve plus game needs to be on top. Because Carlos' serve plus game is on top very often. That's why Carlos won 88% when his first serve against Fritz. Why do you think he did that? Because his serve plus game is unbelievable. When Carlos lands a serve, the third shot is over. And if not the third, for sure the fifth. Not always with raw power, because both of these two guys has raw power. But he can land a serve, even if it's second serve, he can kick a second serve, even though the Carlos kick serve is not as effective on grass like it is on clay, but it is still effective. Carlos has a better kick serve than Sinner. So Carlos can make a kick serve or a first serve. He can go to the net. And he's so unbelievably good at the net, Carlos. He attacked the net 41 times against Fritz and won 31 of those net approaches. That makes it to 76% successful. Carlos Alcaraz, to be this young and to be this unbelievable good at the net, I don't know if I've ever seen a player this young like Carlos is, only 22 years, and to be this damn good at the net. He makes it look so easy, but it is not any easy shot he's making at the net. He's making some really difficult shots at the net, and it feels like he can make those shots all day long. But those shots are not easy. So Carlos Alcaraz can defeat his opponents in different ways. With drop shots, with net game, with raw power, you name it, baby. So Sinner's fourth key is he needs to match Carlos Alcaraz 1+ game. Carlos Alcaraz 1+ game needs to be matched. All right. So there you have it. And of course, a fifth key for Sinner is he needs to believe it. Look, everybody has scar tissues when you are on 5 losing match streak against an opponent, because he has heard it. Sinner is killing the entire tour, but Sinner's kryptonite is Carlos. Like Djokovic kryptonite is Sinner, Sinner's kryptonite is Carlos. So Sinner needs to believe it, because he should make he has a bigger serve than Carlos, according to me, slightly bigger serve, and that should make Sinner's life easier on this surface. It should make his life easier, because on clay, if he could push Carlos Alcaraz so much on clay 5 weeks ago at French Open, the slowest surface we have in tennis, and almost won it and should have won it, considering that he had 3 consecutive match points, Sinner should tell himself and say, if I almost defeated him on clay, for sure I should have huge chances of doing it in a much faster surface like grass. So there you have Sinner's 5 keys to win the match. What did Carlos' keys to win the match? Because this is not a given thing that Carlos will win this match. I will give my prediction towards the end of the video, who I believe will win and why. Carlos' keys to the match, he also needs to serve good. Like he did against Fritz. Fritz was extremely impressed with Carlos' serve. Carlos has a little underrated serve. Many people, including me, have said, oh, Carlos has his biggest weakness is his serve. Yeah, probably it is. But it is not bad. The only reason why we say Carlos' biggest weakness is his serve, because all other elements of his game are just unbelievable. He has an unbelievable forehand, unbelievable backhand, unbelievable touch, unbelievable net skills, unbelievable drop shots. The dude has the entire package. And that's why he can beat you with so many different ways. Sinner can beat you with only one way, being a ball machine from a baseline and refusing to miss. That's the way Sinner beats you. Sinner will not beat you with drop shots. Sinner will not beat you with approaching the net, because Sinner doesn't approach the net very often. And even if he does, he's absolutely not as good at the net as Carlos is. Nobody is. For me, Carlos Alcaraz is the best net player in the world. The numbers doesn't lie. You know, numbers never lie. He attacked the net 41 times against Fritz, won 31 times of those net approaches. 31 freaking times. He missed only 10 net approaches. He failed in only 10 net approaches out of 41 times. That is great success. 76% successful. So, Carlos Alcaraz needs to serve good, because he needs to match Sinner's serve, because according to me, Sinner has even though Carlos has a good serve, and maybe even Carlos has a better second serve than Sinner, especially at least a better kick serve than Sinner. He did some really great kick serves against Carlos. So Carlos needs also to have higher percentage of first serves, because if Carlos is under 60%, Sinner will make him pay. Sinner will make him suffer. Sinner is not Fritz. Sinner has much better returns than Fritz. Sinner has much better baseline game than Fritz. So if Fritz was 1 point away in taking Carlos Alcaraz to a fifth set, even though if Fritz would have taken Carlos to that fifth set, we all know Carlos Alcaraz record in 5 sets, 14-1. All right? So Carlos would have won that fifth set. I truly believe so. But anyway, Fritz was 1 point away in taking Carlos to that fifth set. So Carlos needs to make sure, but Fritz did a great match. Like I said earlier in the video, Fritz did a really, really great match. All right, really clean match. 20 more winners than Afosteros. All right, 19 aces. Okay, so Fritz did a really, really good match. So that is a huge credit to Carlos. Despite Fritz doing a great match, Carlos dropped only 1 set. Anyway, Carlos needs to have high percentage of first serves in as well. He needs to at least be over 60%. Because if Carlos is under 60%, he will be in big danger. And I think he will lose the match. I will say that right now, right here. If Carlos is under 60% in landing first serves, he will lose the match. He will lose the match because he will not come away against a quality opponent like Sinner in landing first serves under 60%. So he needs to be over 60% at least. And the second key for Carlos is he needs to play his game like he usually does against Sinner. Give Sinner different looks of the ball, attacking the net like Carlos does so great, so unbelievable good. Playing drop shot, even though Sinner is super fast, Sinner's quickness is underrated, but play drop shot. He needs to play drop because, look, when I think about it, who is the better baseline player from these two? I will be honest with you. I think Sinner is that. I think Sinner is the best baseline player in the world. When Sinner feels to me like a Djokovic 2.0. When he goes in that lockdown mode, he just doesn't know how to miss. So if Carlos goes toe-to-toe with Sinner from a baseline and tries to outpower Sinner from a baseline, I think he will lose the match. Even though that Carlos is not Djokovic. Carlos has a raw power like Sinner. Both of these two players have raw power. And that's why it takes a beast to take down the other beast. And both of these two guys are beasts. All right? So, but I don't think it is the right melody for Carlos to stay toe-to-toe with Sinner from the baseline. He does it much better than Djokovic, because Djokovic, let's face it, he's 38 years old. And he doesn't even hit the ball as close, as hard as Carlos and Sinner. Sinner and Carlos hits the ball much harder than Djokovic. But even though Carlos can match Sinner's power, I'm not sure that he can match Sinner's consistency from a baseline. So that's why Carlos' key needs to be variation. That is second key for Carlos, which is so unbelievably good to have. Carlos has great variation. The third key for Carlos is he needs to have depth. He cannot give Sinner short balls. If he does that, it is suicide. Suicide. Fourth key, he needs to outclutch Sinner like he has done the last couple of matches that he has won. He outclutched Sinner in that French Open final 5 weeks ago. He outclutched Sinner in that Beijing final last year, one of the best matches of the 2024 season, when Sinner was 3-love up in the lead, I believe. 3 or 4-love up, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but 3-love or 4-love up in the lead. Sinner was in that Beijing final 2024, a 500 class tournament. What does Carlos do? He wins 7 straight consecutive points. How does he do it? He does it with unbelievable shot-making skills. He outclutches Sinner. So the player who will outclutch who will outclutch the one another will win the match. And now we come to my final prediction. With all this said, who do I believe will win this match and why? I think Carlos Alcaraz will win this match, but I'm not as confident like I was at French Open. I will be honest with you, all right? Because these videos get long. I will not take you time for much more longer. The reason why I'm not as confident like I was at French Open, because at French Open, I said that Carlos will win 4 sets. I've said it before, but it is worth to repeat it. Every single time I say a match will finish in straight sets or 4 sets, I'm confident that that player will win. Obviously, 3 sets, I am super confident. 4 sets, I'm not super confident, but I'm confident. But the match was super close at French Open 5 weeks ago. Very, very close. Much closer than I thought. I thought Carlos will win in 4 sets. Sinner almost proved me wrong. Almost. 1 point away in proving me wrong. Now, I'm not as confident in a Carlos win. I'm going to tell you why. First of all, this is a different surface. This is not clay. This is grass, and it is faster. Sinner has a small advantage in the serve. So I think that Sinner can win the serve battle here. And if he wins the serve battle, if he wins more points when his first serve, then he has done a lot of damage there to begin with. So that's why I'm not as confident in a Carlos win here like I was at French Open. But I'm still predicting Carlos to win. So I believe Carlos will win of these reasons. Carlos has the variation that bothers Sinners. Nobody has that kind of a variation. We saw what Dimitrov did to Sinner in the 4th round. Dimitrov is not even as close as a good of a player like Carlos is, but Dimitrov has variation. He has the slice, exactly like Carlos. He has the touch at the net, exactly like Carlos. He has drop shots. Not as good as Carlos, but he can hit some drop shots here and there. Dimitrov took a 2 sets to love lead against Sinner. And who knows what would happen if Dimitrov would not get injured. Something that we will never get the answer on. Anyway, so Carlos has the variation. And when a player has a variation, that bothers Sinner. That is my second key why I believe Carlos will win. Not second key, my biggest key, the variation. Carlos has the variation. Carlos will give Sinner different looks on the ball. He will give Sinner slices. He will give Sinner drop shot. Especially Carlos will attack the net. Carlos is not afraid in attacking the net. He can do that after landing the first serve. He can do that after landing the second serve. He can do that in mid rallies. He's unpredictable, and this hurts Sinner. That's why I believe Carlos will win this match. Because he has such, like Fritz said, he has so many ways in defeating your opponent. Because Carlos is not stupid. These tennis players are not stupid. Carlos will not stand on the baseline and go blow to blow with Sinner. He knows that if he does that, not that it will be impossible to defeat Sinner in that way, because Carlos has better baseline game than Djokovic. Carlos has more power than Djokovic, so it is not impossible for Carlos to defeat Sinner, even if he stays on the baseline the entire match. But it will be extremely difficult. Not many, if any at all, can defeat Sinner just going toe-to-toe with him from the baseline. So Carlos would not stay on the baseline and just go toe-to-toe with Sinner without coming up with some kind of unpredictability, with some kind of variation in his game. So that's why I believe Carlos' biggest key to win the match is he has so much variation, and that will bother Sinner a lot. Another thing why I believe Carlos will win is because tennis is very much about mentality. The dude has a 5-match winning streak against Sinner. He has not lost a match against Sinner since 2023 Beijing semifinal. He has not lost a Grand Slam match against Sinner since 2022 Wimbledon 4th round. He leads the head-to-head in Grand Slam matches 3-1. All right. So, uh, so he is confident. He knows he can lose. He knows he was on really had the biggest knife under his throat in his last match against Sinner, where he was inches of losing. But he also knows that he is the player who defeats Sinner the most in the entire world. Sinner is defeating the entire world, but Sinner is not defeating Carlos. Carlos, of course, has this knowledge. And the biggest reason, maybe why I win, why I believe Carlos will win this match, Carlos is just such an unbelievable big match player. Let's face it. The dude has played 14 big finals, counting the Masters and the Olympic gold final match. He has lost only 2 of them. Both of those 2 has come to Novak Djokovic. He's such a big match player, Carlos Alcaraz, and let alone when we talk about 5th set records. Carlos has played 15 matches that has gone to the 5th set. 15. He has lost only 1 of them. Only 1. He's 14-1 in 5 sets matches when the matches has gone to a 5th set. Sinner has played 16 matches when the matches has gone to a 5th set. 16. He has lost 10 of them and he has won 6 of them. So you can just imagine if these 2 players go to that 5th set, which of these 2 players will have the biggest belief will win the match? Of course, Carlos. Why does Carlos win so many matches when it goes to the 5th set? He has a different way of doing it. He goes in that beast mode. He just pushes that beast mode button when he goes to that 5th set. He plays tennis in that 5th set to win. He doesn't play tennis to not lose. If you compare that with other great players who has great 5th set records, like Novak is one of them. Novak, of course, has a great 5th set record, but not as great as Carlos. When Novak was going to those 5th sets, especially when he was in his prime and in his peak, he was doing that mostly. He was trying to not miss. He was refusing to miss. He just went in that don't miss mode. Carlos is not doing that. Carlos is not operating the same way. Carlos is operating. He just becomes more offensive. He goes more for his shots. He goes more for the trigger. He tries to take the racket out of your hand. He doesn't go in that don't miss mode. He goes in that killer mode instead. And so far, it has worked for him. He has won majority of the close matches in his career, especially the matches that has gone to the 5th set. He has lost only 1 of them. Sinner, he's more like Djokovic. He goes more in that don't miss mode when he goes to that 5th set. And you have seen that in that French Open final 5 weeks ago, when they went to that 5th set tiebreak. It was not like Sinner did a bad tiebreak in that 5th set. It was not. But he didn't play the same way like Carlos. He played more passive. He went more in that don't miss mode. Carlos, no. He said to himself, you know what? I will try to win this match. It is now for me to be brave. He goes in that brave mode. He plays even more offensive. He goes even more for his shots. He goes even more for the lines. He attacks even more the net. He just gets offensive. He just tries to take all the time away from you. And so far, so good for him. It has worked for him. So if these 2 goes into that 5th set, not only me, but I believe the majority in the world will favor Carlos to win that 5th set. And I believe this match will take 5 sets. And the reason why I say 5 sets is that I am giving Carlos Alcaraz my slightest edge to win this match. But if Sinner proves me wrong, I will not be shocked at all. Because Sinner is such a good tennis player. Sinner is such an unbelievable ball striker, maybe the best ball striker in the world, that he's too good of a player to continue losing against Carlos Alcaraz all the time. He's just too good of a tennis player. And that's why I believe this match will go to 5 sets, because I am giving Jannik Sinner huge chances to win this final. But considering which kind of a big match player Carlos is, he has played in 5 Grand Slam finals, never lost one. Now he'll play 6 Grand Slam finals. Sinner he's played 4 Grand Slam finals before, and he has lost 1 of his 4 Grand Slam finals, and that one came against Carlos Alcaraz in that epic French Open final 5 weeks ago. All right, guys, I've talked enough. I think you're tired of me talking. So I will say Carlos Alcaraz will win this Wimbledon final 2025 against Jannik Sinner in 5 sets. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. See you next time. Peace.